right, so back to the meeting.
Ladder steps.
Yes. Nancy, since you just came back in, Rick did say that he's forwarded the last two proposals we had to John Viola, and as soon as he hears something back from him, he'll let us know. So that was the first thing that we were going to be discussing today. We've then moved on to the steps on the pool ladders. I did get permission from Linda and John to talk to Nobi at Public Works. Apparently, there was some confusion or discussion about the fact that we absolutely have to have commercial grade ladders, which is understandable. And when I explained to Nobi that the concern was that the steps on a couple of the ladders were very slippery, he said he would look into that and then get back to me. And I left him a message yesterday and this morning, so hopefully I'll have something to follow up with that, and I can just send it out to everybody once I hear back from Nobi. Any questions on that before we move forward?
No,
Okay.
that's great if we can get that done, especially now that the weather's starting to get a little warmer. It'd be time to do it.
Right. The second item on the agenda is the Ocean Pines season kickoff event. That's scheduled for Saturday, May 17th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Ocean Pines Veterans Memorial Park. Most of the amenities and a lot of the advisory committees are going to participate. Last year for aquatics, Michelle had a table and was there to answer questions and whatever. So my question to this committee is, does anybody feel that the committee should also have a table at the event?
Why would we not share a table with Michelle? We're all aquatics.
I'm sure if we talk to Michelle, she'd be happy to have somebody from our committee at the table with her.
Yeah.
Last year, I kind of avoided that because I just assumed that she was going to take care of everything. But because a lot of the committees did participate last year, I want to throw that out. And if we think that the best option is just to tag along with Michelle, I can certainly approach her and see if she has any issues with that.
That makes sense. Who's Michelle again?
She's the department head of aquatics.
Seems like we'd all be there together. Yeah.
Well, that makes more sense to me too, but I wanted to check with everybody before I just assume that. All right, so I'm going to talk to Michelle then about the committee members being part of her table and just making sure she's participating as well. Okay, any other comments on that?
And I can be here for that.
Okay, great. And we'll have one more meeting before the event, so we'll make sure we're coordinating with everything. One of the other things I wanted to kind of get an upgrade on is the pool maintenance that we had brought to the attention of the board. I did stop by the beach club yesterday and got pictures of the new sidewalk that was put in. And the sidewalk looks much better. It's a cement sidewalk, so it really will sustain the traffic and everything that goes through there. The only thing I noticed, Rick, is that on the outside edge of the new sidewalk, the sand is on a little bit of a slope, so it's flowing where the rain is washing the sand onto the sidewalk and causing, it not to look very nice, but it's also a slight tripping hazard.
Mhm.
If there was some sort of edging along just the outside of the sidewalk, even if it was just 2x6s pressure treated that were put along that, it would keep the sand from blowing onto the sidewalk, and it would keep the place dressed up a little bit, and also, like I said, do away with any of the tripping or slipping hazards from the sand. So just throwing that out for you to pass along.
Okay.
But the sidewalk looks nice except for no edging. Any comments on that?
The only thing I'd say is if they put edging on there, that if they can make it a contrasting color to the sidewalk and the sand so that it's easily seen.
Yeah, so you're not tripping.
But I mean, you're either going to trip on, if you do veer off, you're going to trip on that or trip going off the sidewalk into the sand. I mean, either way, it's tripping, plus the sand on the sidewalk is a tripping hazard. So if they're going to put the 2x6 lumber down, I'd make it if they can, I'd make it a color of some kind, something.
Okay. And then following up, while I was at Beach Club, there's still all of the issues that we had brought to attention before are still there. We've got rusted speakers and lights on the building that are falling off with wires connected to them. There's a lot of the shingles that are missing. Now, I don't know if the fact that Touch of Italy is going to be taking over doing the restaurant part of that, if they're going to look at doing some of this maintenance. I know they were going to do stuff on the inside, but this is something that should be looked at and be considered for the budget. I don't know if it was considered this year for the budget.
Hey, Gary, just to step in real quick, if you don't mind. I know that Public Works is going to be doing maintenance prior to the club being open. And there are a lot of those things that you've talked about. I've heard that they're going to be fixing. Also, Touch of Italy is going to have a certain amount of responsibility as far as for maintenance as well. I'm not too sure on that agreement. That's between operations and Touch of Italy. But I will have no issue as far as just advising that there is some concerns on that. But I do know that Public Works is definitely going to be working on that building to get it ready for the season.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Thank you. And the last thing I have as far as maintenance is concerned is the first thing that we pointed out last year was the sidewalk at Swim and Racket leads from the parking lot up to the entrance to the Swim and Racket facility. That sidewalk is in very bad shape. There's cracks and holes and all sorts of things in it. And when we submitted this last year, John had said that he was going to get that taken care of in the off season. We're almost at the end of the off season, so I'm just, again, throwing it out there that this was one of the things that we were told was going to be addressed, and it hasn't come up yet. So, Rick, when you're talking to Public Works, if you could just mention that to them as well.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Thank you. All right. Any questions on any of that or any additional comments? We did not, since schools aren't open yet, facilities aren't open, there was concern about the bathrooms and a number of them, especially Swim and Racket. There was also concern about handrails and things like that. So, now obviously we couldn't get in to take a look at the moment, but hopefully that's part of the process that Public Works is going to be taken care of as well. Few suggestions. One of the things we talked about briefly on the last couple times is the idea of having swipe cards to get into the pools, especially at the yacht club because of the situation with the lines and pool members not wanting to butt in front of people that aren't pool members. And it would be nice if there was a way just to have a card that all the pool members would get, and that you were just able to swipe it to gain entrance. So that's one of the things that I think we need to talk some more about and see if we want to put that in a charging document. And then we had also talked about the fact that at the beach club, the bathrooms on the lower level, last year they had to have an attendant at the bathroom to let people in because there were non-pool members that were going in and trashing the place. So again, the swipe cards might be a good idea for that area as well. So let's have a discussion about swipe cards. Anybody have any experience with them or thoughts on how they would be used?
Well, at the Racket Center, we just swipe our Ocean Pines card, do it ourselves. It goes ding ding. That's how you know if you're in. You're good. So it's a little reader. Thank you. It's a reader. Yeah, it's a little reader, and the attendant is there, but doesn't have to swipe everybody. Everybody does their.
And that not only lets them in, but it's registered somewhere that
It goes right into North Star that they are at the Racket Center.
Okay. Well, that would certainly be something that
Card
makes sense.
I don't know what they do right now. How do they check your card now? They look on the computer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they swipe it.
They swipe it.
They swipe it, but you're in the same line with people who don't have a membership or guests. And so, you're kind of
They just
waiting.
need to have their own card reader or separate one.
Yeah. Two separate lines,
If you
right?
have a card, swipe over here. If you have a card, swipe. If you don't have a card, come here.
Is that how they do it at the racket club? So if you are not a racket club member, you go to the attendant. If you are, you just swipe.
Yeah, it's very close. It's on the attendant's desk, but so they can talk to somebody while someone else is
Walking in and swiping.
So does it differentiate between racket sports members that have paid and those that don't? So that people that haven't paid can't swipe their Ocean Pines card and get in?
It's a good question. But
I
Because
should hope so.
I would think so. Most athletic
Well,
clubs are set up like that.
yeah, so not that.
Yeah, I think it can.
North Star has its limitations, from what I understand. But regardless, it works there, so why can't it work at the pool?
Well, but
They do it at the pool.
it's vital though that, right, you're right. They do it at the pool. So it would be really important that it recognize who are the members and who are the OPA owners, but they're not swim members. So,
So that's a North Star thing.
uh-huh,
We have to reject it if they didn't have a pool
Right.
membership.
okay.
So that's probably why it's come.
that's
I
something.
think a point that we can, oh, sorry, Gary. I think a
Go
point that we
ahead.
can make here is they do have the technology to do it, and there might be a bit of an investment on the front end. But when you look at what we could be saving in staffing costs in the long run, I think it's a really good, something that we really should look into.
And customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another incentive to sign up.
Well, that's what they
To
talk
join.
about. They say
More of a moneymaker for us.
people have a good experience when they come in. It's easy to get in. They don't have to wait behind people who have to pay.
I'm pretty sure it can. It's a pretty powerful system. Just has to be set up correctly.
But it has its limitations, I've been told. So only like Josh or whoever can answer.
So maybe then that would require charging documents so they can begin to look into whether it's feasible under the current system.
If you want an answer, yes. It's
Yeah, why don't we do that? Do a charging document suggesting that the board look into swipe cards and check with Josh to see if it's feasible.
It's pretty sophisticated, but you probably each module has an additional charge to it. And maybe we just have the base. And you're like looking at me like, I've asked these questions already.
You don't get very detailed answers.
No. And here's this Josh guy.
Josh technology.
Is
Oh, no, what's the other guy's name? Carl? The other guy that does all that, sets all that up.
I don't know. who
But they're-
set it up. Josh is more of the public relations.
Yeah, so
So
who's
it's
the
the
IT?
IT guy.
Yeah.
IT. I always want to call him Carl, but I don't think that's his IT.
Rick, do you know the IT guy's name?
For are you talking about other than, let's see, who we have? We got Keith. I can't remember who else that they have in there. I know they got a couple different guys that are working in there,
Okay.
but I'm not too sure.
Would be the department director.
What's
for
that?
IT. Who would be the department director for IT? Would you know offhand? Would that be Keith?
I think it is Keith. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
but I think Howard Webb also works in that department too as well.
Howard. That's his name. Howard.
Okay.
All right.
It'd be great if you could just use their Ocean Pines cards. Yeah, instead of getting another card.
You'd be entered in if I belong to the pools or you.
That's how, but it does work that way currently. If you're a swim member, they swipe your Ocean Pines ID card.
Right.
And it comes up that you're a swim member. They can see it because I've heard, yep, you're a member. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, then you have the manpower. Or something that's sort of like an auto, just walk by, swipe your card. It makes the sound because you are a swim member
Uh-huh.
and you go in.
Okay.
Without
As opposed to like,
attendants talking to people or taking
Right.
money from.
as opposed to somebody with a card just swiping, but they're not a swim member and walking in. You need,
We're
you
not
need
sure
an
about that.
audible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does somebody want to volunteer to draft the charging document, or should I do that and send it out to everybody?
I do
No,
minutes.
no. I'm looking at
I'm not
everybody.
sure what the charging document is, but I'll happily write something up if it's, where would I find it?
I can actually give you a copy, or I'll send you a copy.
Okay, sure. Write something up. I'll reach out to you guys for help.
Okay.
Okay.
You all know the
All
context than I do.
right. Are there any other issues that we ought to bring to the board's attention?
Is there something in April you asked for volunteers for? Remember the date or what it was?
Well, I think I was just talking about the season kickoff,
Is that what it is?
It's in May.
and that's May 17th. So I'm going to talk to Michelle about the committee participating with her to have one table.
Was it just her? Were her alone last year? Or
It was.
The only one
can we
that's
sell things or is it just?
No, just give out information.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could do something sort of fun where somebody wins something, but that, again, that would be, we'd have to go over that with Michelle. But I did approach her last year at the thing and I said, I'm here all day because I was there with another group. I said, I'm happy to come over and help you out for a few hours. And
She was taking care of herself, so.
One of the selling points is that they let you take a free class,
Yes,
like 9 different classes.
yeah, and you can take one free class.
Yeah, so you can, that's something to talk about. It's nice.
All right,
or even to talk about the classes.
That's a big seller.
Yeah,
I
it
want to
is.
do that. And they can run for free. No drama.
I actually did look back and
Has anybody been taking any classes in the indoor pool in the winter?
been here.
Okay, just
I was going to do it this
They're
morning, but
kind of between, so I have not, but I've heard from the group I used to take a class with that they're kind of between instructors right now. There was a very popular class with Jen, and Jen now will be a sub, but she won't do it routinely because, family stuff. And so my understanding is it's kind of like sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. It depends on if they have an instructor.
Right.
And the last I heard, Mandy was, I think that's, was like coming up to snuff so that she could be an instructor for the class. And I think they had one other person, but I can't recall the name. So, I mean, I think they're working on it, but it's not quite as tight as it has been in the past.
Yeah, I'd heard comments that there were a couple classes that were canceled because they didn't have enough instructors
Right.
or whatever.
it's a universal issue right now too across every athletic club that has classes. It just seems to be we're in that transition.
Mm.
I mean, we seem to be doing okay with lifeguards at the moment. And just so y'all know, Ocean Pines is doing a class to certify official lifeguards. And if you agree to work in Ocean Pines, if you pass the test, they will pay for the fee for the class.
Nice.
So they are making an effort to try to get some more people involved with the lifeguarding, especially younger people. So, any other topics for discussion?
Summer's almost here.
It is. It is. Nancy, have you got anything else?
Nope, all good.
Okay. Rick, you got anything else you feel you need to write us about?
Yeah, just for a calendar hold for you guys, on June 5th, we're going to have the Board of Directors volunteer dinner for the committees. So that'll be on June 5th. It's a Thursday. So you see more to come on that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I take it that'll be probably at the yacht club?
Yeah, I'll be at the yacht club upstairs. Yep. Just like it was last year.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right, we don't have anybody from the public here. Let's see. So there's no public comments. Any other topics at all we need to go over? I always try to keep the meetings relatively short. The goal for me is an hour or less. So looks like we're going to hit that again. The next meeting is on Thursday, April 10th, again at 11:30 in this room.
Not a big way.
Yep. You going on vacation? Good.
I'm Roberta. So far. Delray Beach. Okay.
Okay, if that's everything, I'll take a motion to close the meeting. Second. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Hi.
All righty, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thank
See
you,
ya.
Rick.
Thank
Take
you.
care.